All right, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend as usual. Um, Today should be a really fun conversation. I think with all the talk about AI, all the talk about automation, what all sellers need to realize is if you want to future proof, if you want to, and not even future proof, if you want to be successful today, it's you. It's the human component of it that's going to make you successful. Now, tech enabled, right, to make you, to help with efficiency and effectiveness. But at the end of the day, it's really about you. And so today's topic should be a really, really fun one. We're going to talk about the art of moonshots. So one of the four C's is consistent performance optimization. And it's kind of it's interesting. It's almost like I think of it like a yin and yang, where consistent performance optimization talks about how do you build an operational rhythm where your team over and over and over again is able to um, go out and not optimize every 6, 12, whatever months, redo all of our sequences, redo a sales playbook, which is it's not effective. Instead, you should be optimizing once you have enough data, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, and making changes. So how do I put in place that mindset? That's, kind of one piece of this. The other piece of this that I think just as, call it interesting, is moonshots. And moonshot says, look, while you're doing this, your people should have a certain period of time to where they're running one or part of their sequence in a way to break this system. Like, I always give the trivia team analogy, right? Which is this idea that you need to the team of 10 or 15 people will beat the really smart team of 2 or 3 people every time. And the reason is just diversity of thought, diversity of experiences, diversity of, anyway, there's a whole bunch of other reasons why it happens as well too. And so we need to make sure we're harnessing the power of like weird new ideas for by letting our sales team go crazy, and try some, maybe not go crazy, but you know um, maybe not go crazy, but certainly have some ideas that they can kind of implement. So today I'm going to talk about moonshots. I'm going to talk about how to do that, how to build it into your company, and build creativity and fun and interest back into the SDR role. My friends, like we were very successful. The SDR role was invented for a reason, but it wasn't invented to be an automated push button machine, right? Can I get a shout out? Can I get a thumbs up? I mean, hopefully you guys agree with this, right? Um, but again, moonshots is this idea. Again, was invented by ambitious space missions to NASA, literally to go to the moon, and really, really excited about it. Some other things, my friends, if you have not signed up for the Innovative Seller Summit, it is tomorrow. It is literally tomorrow. Sign up. I promise you, sign up because you're going to get access. You don't just get the summit, you get a copy of Innovative Seller, you get access to the community. I'm going to be doing a keynote, and you can also tune in. I'm doing a session with the former global head of LinkedIn Talent Solutions, David Cohen, who's become a friend over the years as well. And we're going to talk about this idea of consistent performance optimization. One of the questions I'm going to talk to him is how did he infuse? I mean, David is running a multi-billion dollar business. And we're going to talk about how he built in this idea of constant iteration into his teams, as well too. It's that important of a concept, and how they built moonshots, how they were able to, kind of dominate under his, uh, time as the head of sales there. So make sure you sign up for the Innovative Seller Summit. You've got to do it. Okay, so I am going to talk to you about how to do this. And by the way, and I'm going to try to give it to you like if you're a rep or if you're a leader as well too. On the leadership side, so I'll give you kind of leaders some things as well too. One is foster the environment. You as a leader need to make sure that you go to your team and you're like, look, guys, we have these best practices, execute these and you're going to be successful, and we're consistently optimizing them, right? But you also need to say this next part to your team. You need to say to your team, but I want you to be trying small things here or there. If you've got a question, if it's too crazy, come hit me up. I want to empower you to do that. but try some small things. We're going to do a little bit of A/B testing here or there, right? So just some things, again, if you're a leadership, foster the environment. Here's a status quo, right? Execute. This is the best practices. We know that this stuff works, right? If it doesn't work, that's a whole other problem, right? As a part of this, right? So I think, again, when I think about the other thing too, is like, then make sure that you have systems, data analytics. Like we've got a tool. So if you're doing outbound, right, for example, because this isn't just for outbound, this is for sales too. It's like, hey, we run our sales process like this. What if we change step 3 and I just try to do this different for the next 10 calls? Who knows? Let's see what happens. So Moonshots isn't just for outbound, but we have a tool, and I'll put a link in that actually kind of helps you. It's like a cockpit for outbound that can see top performing, subject lines over the last few days, top performing, pieces of email, et cetera, that you can kind of move things around. So you can use data and analytics to do that constant performance. And then you can see the moonshots, right? Then you can see, okay, well, here's that one, sequence we tried to try to break the bank. And like, here's the results. And like this part of it really, and oh, wow, it's like, maybe this part didn't work, but wow, this part worked, et cetera. So again, if you're a sales leader, you've got to build this idea of the environment, this kind of like more consistent review cycle, and then the use of analytics, right? Because again, we want to take measured moonshots, right? They didn't, they weren't just like, hey, we're going to get in a rocket and try to go and like, I've got a crazy idea. No, they took their calculated moonshots, right? They were like, hey, based on what we're seeing, looking at some specifics, this is what, are some like calculated ideas of what could work. So why is this important, right? So right now, and again, the latest stats, and actually marketing team, we are overdue to do kind of a follow-up survey here. It's been a little bit. I'd like to know by show of hands, or even in the comments, you can say, how many of you are hitting outbound, or how many of your team in Q1 is on pace to hit their overall outbound target? I think, look, the good news is I think companies set more realistic targets for 2024, some more realistic targets. Some of you might be laughing like, yeah, right. But for the rest of you, I'd be curious to know how many people are hitting. And the thing is, in a lot of this idea is, how do we have these processes and systems, and how we're using Chat GPT throughout the process to help us to get better and higher quality, but the human is in there doing Q&A. The human is in there doing very specific things. So why it's important to break the status quo is, we as people, this is our value add. Our value add is the creativity. Our value add is looking at the data, interpreting, seeing the nuance, and saying, ooh, based on that, let's try to do ABC. AI can do parts of that, but it can't say like, well, I know this buyer persona really intimately, and so this is actually, for my last 5 calls, what I keep hearing over and over again. So the other big piece that this does is it makes your people happier, right? Why is it important right now? Like, one, the human in the loop is critical. If the human in the loop is not taking chances, interpreting data, there's not going to be a human in the loop. That's the reality of it, right? That the other, kind of like important piece here is, again, to think of this idea of, ongoing optimization and trying these things on a consistent basis starts to breed a culture of where people are always moving forward, right? We're always trying new things. We move out of this stagnant mindset of, I'm just executing, just boop, 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 boop. Yeah, it helps you to retain people, sets you apart from the competition, right? So, all right, so how do we do it? All right, so brass tacks here, minute 10. And again, make sure, look, if you're a SDR leader or you're on a team, tag in your leader for this. Like, this is something I think every leader should at least look at, and watch this, 15, 20-minute conversation that we're having, because it's not going to, again, if you want to get maximum results, you need to tap the plethora of knowledge that people have, and especially the people that are on the front lines. So how can we do this? Okay, and these are things straight from the book. So again, make sure if you haven't signed up for the summit, it's tomorrow. Even if you can't make it, you get access to the community. The recording and everything will be there. It's actually in Innovative Seller, the session, which is really cool. It'll be our first ever live event from the Innovative Seller community. So I'm pumped for that, which is pretty dang cool. So okay, here's how you do it. Number one, Make sure every seller, and if you're a seller, okay, so this is where I want to flip it a little bit. If you're a seller, you don't need your leader to create this environment. You can just do it yourself. This is what I did as a sales rep that made me wildly successful and much faster, much better, faster than a lot of my peers. Um, and some of the things that I did, I think that really set me apart and helped me as a part of this. I just realized this. My marketing team's going to kill me. There we go. All right. There you go. Marketing. I flipped it. It will forever be like this now. So you can read Scaled. They're like, Jake, Scaled is backward the entire time. And then I just took a look and I'm like, I was backward again. So now it's straight. So you have to have, I'm going to just say 2 hours every week. Okay, my friend, the average work week is 40. Let's be honest. Most of us are putting in a little bit more. So that is not a lot of time. Alexa, what is 45 divided by 2? Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong way to do it. Alexa, what is 2 divided by 45? Okay, it's 4%. 4.4444444. 4%. 4% of your time every week, okay, is to looking at what worked this week and maybe over the last few weeks and making some decisions on some things to change, right? On hey, I'm seeing this thing. I've never tried video. I'm looking at my sequences here and I'm like, I've never put video. I'm gonna try video here. Boop. Great. I'm gonna measure that over the next 2 weeks, right? So my friends, 2 hours, let's say most of you putting in 45 hours a week at least, 4%. You don't need your manager to do this. Make sure you have the data set up. You have the report set up. Make sure your manager goes and buys Performance Pulse, our product, so you can in about 0.5 seconds go, oh, out of all my sequences, this is my top piece of email. So I'm going to triple, double, quadruple down on it. Right. As a part of that, I want you to think about this in two pieces. Is look at the things you're doing, the status quo stuff, the emails. Like, hey, what if I tried this type? Okay, based on what I'm seeing from my data, this type of email is working. This isn't. I'm going to try to triple down on that. And maybe do something even crazier. Right. And then you want to try to think of the other types of experiments are like new mediums or crazy new messages, right? Like, again, like video, or if you're not doing video, maybe it's committing to, DM them an article every time, or to maybe write an article, a newsletter on LinkedIn and forward that along. Hey, I wrote this thing. I put this thing together. What do you think? This is my opinion on what I think the future is, and take a look at it. So think of when you're doing that 2 or 3 hours, sometimes pick experiments that are just kind of, bigger improvements or crazier ideas on things you're already doing. And then also think about new mediums or new different ways to interact. The next thing is to build in a monthly meeting to review results and potentially brainstorm and share, right? So again, you don't need your manager to do this, right? If every single one of you is spending 4% of your time, right, which is not very much, to optimize, set up a weekly meeting or a lunch and learn. Set up a monthly meeting where you can do this, right? To me, if you want to go to the next level, again, for leaders, the exec team should be meeting for at least like a half a day each quarter to, again, kind of reassess, hey, what's working, what's not working, and then again, assigning back to the team, hey guys, here's some macro trends that we've seen. So I think leadership's job many times is to just feed back insights that maybe reps aren't seeing. Like, hey guys, Johnny over here has been taking some moonshots and hitting like these types that have really been working. We know that this still is like a status quo that that's working. You might want to try this. So if you've got your team spending 2 hours every week, you've got either you or your little group of buddies or or teams are spending time once a month to do some shares. Once a quarter, you're spending about 4 hours, right? There's 160. All right, let's do this math real quick. Okay, I'm gonna say let's say 6 hours in a quarter. Okay, so let's just do this. I think there's 160 work hours. That's 320, 480. Alexa, what is 6 divided by 480? Okay, that's 1.25. So let's say 1.3% of your quarter you should spend looking at bigger trends and feeding that data back to the broader team, right? So you've dedicated time, look at what's working. So far I'm talking about 4% of a week and 1.3% of a quarter to optimize. That, my friends, is going to destroy what you are doing now which are these big, like kind of like overhauls, which are like really just really kind of, you know, small improvements here or there, not really anything crazy. And then again, just make sure that as leadership, you're kind of relaxing governments to allow top performers. I get if someone's brand new, you can say, hey, look, come to me with the idea first. Let's talk through it. You need to allow the person in the loop. You need to realize that the 15-person trivia team beats your little 2 or 3-person team, even me, right? I think I'm the most genius copywriter, email, and cold call of all time. Maybe not all time, but I think I'm pretty good. I already know that if I put 15 to 20, 24 or 25-year-old SDRs together, they will come up with something better than I did. It'll happen, right? So again, you have to just relax it for people that are performing. So that's what I got, everybody. That's the concept of Moonshots and how to really build this culture. I'm going to talk to David Cohn about this tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. My friends, if you don't do this and you stick to the status quo, you're going to be left behind. I'm telling you right now, every team is moving toward this mindset, this more rapid iteration, letting the people be a part of this because we've got all this other AI stuff, right? The buyers expect, in order for a buyer to respond, they expect a personalized effort. My friends, you cannot just hit send on an email. You can't just say, Jake, there's synergies. You can't say, Jake, I know you went to ASU. It ain't going to work. It's not working. It's not going to work. Okay. And just understand, like, when you build in this mindset, you future proof your business because you're always consistently, you're spending 4% of your week just saying, hey, is what we're doing still working, and making small changes toward, moving toward what's working at all times versus waiting 6 months to overdo your sequences or 3 years to overdo your sales playbook. And again, like the same applies. I'll just kind of leave it is, hey, if you look at the data and step 3 is your bottleneck in your sales process, it's like conversion from this step. Hey, let's go and run an experiment there. Hey, look, we're looking at the data. Sales just keeps getting stuck here. Maybe our sales performance data, because it's a little bit longer, we're just doing that monthly. So maybe we're spending 4 hours a month, which is again probably like 2%. Alexa, what's 4 divided by 160? 2.5%. So you're spending 2.5% of your time every month just looking at your sales process. Spend 4 hours. Hey, this is broke. Okay, next month we're going to try this experiment. We're going to try this moonshot, right, etc. So, all right, my friends, that's Moonshots. That's Moonshots and the idea of consistent performance optimization. I cannot tell you how important it is. We're going to be continuing the conversation over in the Innovative Seller community. So here's a link for that. Come join us over there. Most of you have probably already bought a copy of the book. You're already a member. If you're not, it's $40. You get you get like, it's a stupid value. As usual, we've got some new stuff going on the AI front. If you are interested in getting more up to speed on ChatGPT and how to bring ChatGPT into this, check out some of the workshops that we're doing. We added the Prompt Pro, so you get our 170 prompts or whatever it is now as a part of that for free, and you get a one-to-one workshop where it's a live workshop with one of the people on our teams. So a lot of things going on to help to make you better as a seller and as a leader, right? And that's the goal of the book, is to help us all get better and to level up. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week. Tune in. So you got Tuesday. You're going to spend time with us. It's like 3 hours. Lineup is stupid. OpenAI leaders, LinkedIn leaders, SEMrush leaders, some of our consultants, Jared Robin, who I haven't talked to in a long time, Morgan Ingram, Kevin Dorsey. The summit tomorrow is going to be bonkers. Then Kevin Dorsey and I on Wednesday are doing our normal AI Unleashed as well too. So make sure you tune in for that. So if I'm you, I'm a seller. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go try this. I'm going to go block out time every week for me to look at my data, right? That's my action item. I'm going to sign up for the summit, get the book, going to sign up for AI Unleashed, maybe sign up for a workshop too, and I'm going to start to be an innovative seller. So that's what we got for you guys. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week, but I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks.